Good afternoon, welcome back to my vlog for Monday the 18th of May. I hope you're all well. Yes, and back after a week's break, so yep, hope everybody is good and yep, making lots of money. You've seen at the start of the video, I have plonked some signage on the back of my van. They are magnetic signs, made to measure. They've been done by a company called Signs DIY. I've got no affiliation with them, it's just who I chose to do the job, and it's something I've been thinking about for a while. I think I might have mentioned it in a previous video, and yeah, I'm still not really massively looking for my own customers. It's not something that I'm massively worried about, but I thought I'm going to do a bit of self promotion. You see, from the way I've done it, I've emphasized where I live more than the company name, and the thought process behind that is quite simply, there's no point me being in somewhere like Canterbury and then someone picking the phone up saying, oh, I see your van and would you be able to do this job, because I don't want any customers in Canterbury too far away. It's got to be local. It's got to be where I live in Brightlingsea. It's got to be Colchester, which is the major town next door to where I live, possibly Ipswich and areas like Witham and Braintree. So I thought I would emphasise that in terms of the signage. I'm also thought, why do it? Obviously some of the shippers on CX say clean vans, but not many actually do. When I've looked back at the notes, and I've been looking back over the last month or so, and two of the companies that do specifically request that are companies that quite often put a price in the job notes and they're at the low end. So I don't feel I'm going to lose out if I don't actually work for those companies. Two other things as well that came to mind. When you go into a customer or go into a warehouse to collect goods, how often does anybody actually ask who you're from, or how often do you actually offer up that information? Normally if I go in, I might say what company I'm there on behalf of, but more likely I'm just going to be polite and say I've got 2 pallets to pick up to go to X in wherever, Harlow. The warehouse staff quite often don't have a clue who's picking up the goods, what company. They don't ask. As long as you give them perhaps the collection reference number or the amount of packages and where it's going, that's quite often sufficient for themselves. The other thing as well, and I look back at this, how often do you see vans on the road for the shippers that you actually work for? I look back over the last 60 shippers that I've actually done jobs for, and the answer to that question was 4. I'm not going to name them, it's not fair to name them, but so many of the shippers that I actually work for, I've never ever seen any of their own vans. And I think as well, it's generally accepted within the trade that owner drivers like myself, and probably you guys and girls as well, we all get our work subcontracted to us. So I thought, oh well, sod it, let's put the name on there and the contact details, and let's see what happens. They are magnetic, so if I do get a job where I think they shouldn't be on there, or the customer shipper requests excuse me, they will be removed. They need to be removed to be cleaned anyway. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, and if maybe 3 months, 4 months, 6 months down the line nothing's come of it, I've not really lost anything. It cost me £288 including VAT. It is a lot of money, but then when I looked at if I got some decent literature produced to promote my company, it's going to cost me money. I looked at networking events, but there doesn't really seem to be customers, or should we say attendees, that will be of any use to me. Yeah, so I thought I'll have a go at that. I did look at other signs. There were cheaper options available. I didn't want the transfer ones because I didn't, in case I need to take them off. And I looked at there's companies like Vistaprint who I do my business cards because it's quite cheap, and to be honest, I looked at their magnetic things. Let's say they weren't quite what I want. These ones are purposely made to the back panels of your van. The company Signs DIY were very insistent on what van it is, and yeah, it's a lovely fit. I'm really pleased with it. So let's see what happens over the forthcoming weeks. Anyway, other news, not much. I've been out the loop a little bit, to be honest. Last week I've not really worried too much, but on my return I got 2 more letters from Essex Police. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago I received a speeding ticket for the criminal offence of doing 58 on a 60, but of course it's 50 for the van. So I've took my punishment of 3 points and £100 fine. But I got 2 more letters. Fortunately, there is no punishment. One of them was from Essex Police direct, making me aware, and I thank them for it, that a road I use, the A120, has a new enforced speed limit, which has been reduced from 60 to 50, and I was exceeding the 50, when in actual fact I should be doing more than 40. I'm guessing the ANPR cameras they're using on that stretch of road are not differentiating between van and car. However, a little tap on the wrist to be careful, and I will be careful in due course. The other one I got, again from Essex Police, but a different department. I've been clocked going through a village in the deepest depths of Essex near Southwold and Ferrers, and I exceeded the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit through this village. I have got no idea. I probably did. Well, no, he actually told me. I think I was clocked unofficially doing 38, and that's the key to it. So local residents have clocked me. They've obviously got some gadget they're using, hiding behind a bush. They obviously can't. They can pass that information on to the police who have written to me, but obviously that can't be taken any further because the equipment is not authenticated, or there's another word and I can't, calibrated, that's the word I'm looking for. So a couple of slaps on the wrist, but whether it's just Essex, I don't know, but it seems to be a sudden purge on vans. And I know, mentioned this on Facebook sites, Vosa are very hot at the moment on vans, overloading and the general condition of. So perhaps a warning to us all, just be a little bit careful out there. Apologies with the windscreen wipers, it's been had a bit of a downpour, but hopefully it's stopped now. Right, on to today. I was travelling on Friday, so I wasn't able to get myself any work. By the time I got home Friday evening, there's nothing on there, and I looked over the course of the weekend, but again, absolutely nothing on there. So I've gone into this morning with nothing, and I don't like that. I like to sort of have a job in the bag, even if it's not a great job, just purely so I know what I'm doing and I can almost sort of plan the day accordingly. But there we go. Dropped the wife off this morning, 6:15 in Colchester. Went off and got my breakfast. Wasn't expecting much to materialise till nearly 8 o'clock, and that's sort of what happened. There was a job come up at 7:35, and it's one of those. It's been a day of gut feelings and making decisions. It wasn't a brilliant job. It was for a shipper that I do a lot of work for. It was from Colchester ASAP, and I was only 5 minutes away from the collection, so that was good. It was going to Halesworth, which is in Suffolk. It was a small van job, 49 miles. I put a price of £60 on it. Knowing the goods, knowing the customer, I didn't think I was going to get more than that. And part of me was saying, oh, let it go and see what else comes up. But it is Monday. I've been away. I've no idea how busy or not it was last week. So I took the chance and put the £60 on it. And I just got a message actually straight away. They will send it over in a few minutes, but you know the pickup, etc, etc, so which I do. So I made my way up there. I was on site just on, well, 7:45 I got there. I was away at 7:55. Straight run really, to be fair. It's up the A12 to Copdock, down the A14 over the Orwell Bridge, up the A12, and then you come off at Halesworth. Well, whatever mileage it is up that way. Got there on site at 9:30. It was to a building site. It was a bit of a mess trying to. Well, the person I needed wasn't on site. The contact I had also wasn't on site, but he said someone's coming. So I went and spoke to the site manager there, and he was excellent. And he said, "Yeah, we can leave it in the compound." Signed my paperwork, and I was away at 9:55. I wasn't expecting much up in Halesworth. It's a bit of a dead area, so I made my mind up straight away that I'm going to come back down to Ipswich. And then it's when the gut feelings kicked in. There is a shipper I did a job for probably 18 months or so ago, and I struggled to get paid. It is a 30 days, which was fine. The payment didn't come. I sent them an email, and I sent them a second email. Then I tried ringing and left a message, and I started to fear the worst. Finally, after a few days, I rang again and got through, and the bloke was apologetic, said he hadn't seen the emails. Here we go. But he did pay straight away that day. So I thought, okay, perhaps I should have rang from day one, not sent emails, but it's just the way I do it. I have worked for them twice subsequently, and to be fair, they paid me on time both times. So I was a little bit 50-50 on this when I saw this job, but it was a job from Ipswich going to Harlow. Medium wheelbase van, 63 miles, put a price of £80 on it. The guy did ring me about 5 minutes later. He said the job might not be going to Harlow, it might be going to South East 18, which is Woolwich. Would I be all right with that? And I was very honest with him and said, to be honest, if it's going to be Woolwich, I don't really want to do it. I don't really want to go into London, which he was fine with. He said, no, I fully understand. He said, I've got to speak to the customer. I just wanted to speak to you, to speak to me first. He said, I'll ring you back. I asked him to ring me back either way, which he said he would do, and he was true to his word. He rang me back about 3 or 4 minutes later. He said it is going to Harlow, but there's another change now, and the job is now booked for 12:20. I think it was about, I'm not sure what it was. Would have been about 10:30, I think. I was 15-20 minutes away, so I didn't really want to wait an hour and a half, so I declined it. And again, he was absolutely fine about it, so I left that. I parked myself up in a Shell garage on the A14. It's got little services there, parked up there. Job on the system, company I've not worked for before, and it was going from Harwich to Chatteris in Cambridgeshire. That was for a long wheelbase, 90 miles. I looked at the feedback. They had about 80 odd positive feedbacks and 1 negative for delivery. For payment, it was 3 positives and 1 negative. And I left it. 5 minutes later, I got a phone call from the shipper. He'd seen that I was reasonably close, although reasonably close was 40 minutes, 35-40 minutes away, and wanted to know what I would want to do the job. And again, my gut feeling, I said, oh, look, I'm going to be really honest, and I said to him, your feedback worries me. I'm an owner driver. I've been caught before. I don't want to get caught again. So thank you very much for your phone call, but I'm going to decline. And he sounded a little bit disappointed and a bit put off, but I'm only being honest, and I left it. So we said goodbye and parted. 5 minutes later, I got a second phone call from a different company, and the guy there said, you've rejected a job, it's actually my job. It's a bit of a strange one, this, but he said, I would like you to do the job. He said, your feedback is good. He said, my feedback is also good. He said, I understand why you rejected the job. Again, it's all very strange, this. He gave me his company name and his company CX number, which I was able to check out while I was talking on the phone. And yeah, he's got several hundred positives on delivery, and the feedback was 81 positives, 1 negative, which I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He asked me what I wanted for the job, and I told him 140. He was fine with that, and he offered to pay same day. He said, if I pay same day, would you do it? He said, I've had one van collect there, I need a second van to get in there as quickly as possible. So I went with it. I got on site there about 11:55. As expected, when you get these things, it wasn't quite, it was supposed to be 3 pallets, but it turned out 2 crates and 2 pallets. But we got it on. Everybody seemed happy, and made my way off to Chatteris, which I got there for, what time to get there? I think it's around about 2:30, 2:45, yeah, about 2:30. Yeah, it was all right. The delivery's fine. I've uploaded all the information to CX. He sent me a thank you message through WhatsApp. So hopefully now we will see what happens, and hopefully I will get paid tonight. I'll let you know tomorrow. So 2 jobs today, one at 60 and one at 140, 200. I'm just Soham at the moment. I'm making my way back. There was nothing to pick up. Might be something on the way home at Ipswich, but I'm not expecting. But overall, okay, I'll take that. First day back, £200. We'll go with that. Rambled on a bit too long today, apologies for that, but hope everybody's well, and we'll talk again tomorrow. All the best. Cheers, Paul.